Good morning everyone. In this video I'm going to be analysing the live price action for EU and DXY to see what opportunities may be available today. You're going to see my strategy and my analysis, so if you're interested in those then please stick around. Right, so starting off on the daily, EU on the top, DXY on the bottom. So what's the daily showed us? Well, yesterday we had another bullish day, closed out as a bullish doji. So after our rejection of this daily imbalance where we had that engulfing, we've continued that bullish movement. So that support seems to have driven price now to go and seek the buy side liquidity and to possibly continue with this bullish direction. And you can see today so far, we're very bullish already well above the previous daily highs, and nothing looks to be pulling price back at the moment. And on the inverse DXY, it's the same. We had our two previous days bearish, nice bearish close yesterday, and today is continuing bearish as well, heading towards that previous weekly low and possibly ultimately this low here. So apart from the fact that we seem to have bullish momentum, there's not much else to show on the daily. So let's go down to the 4 hour and see what that shows. So as discussed in my video yesterday, the question was really what price was going to do once it had rejected this daily imbalance and the 4 hour imbalance here on DXY. Wasn't sure whether price was going to continue bearish from this high here around this order block to continue down to aim for this 4 hour imbalance and order block on EU. It looked initially like we was going to hold this as resistance. We've spiked up even and took some more buy side liquidity, closed out as this proper doji here, like this sort of high test doji, but then continued bullish for the rest of the day into today. So I am surprised we left behind such imbalances, but overall, you know, this daily imbalance held and this 4 hour imbalance mitigated here clearly reversed price. So we did come and take out these sell side liquidity points here. We look like we're heading for this low soon. We've taken out a lot of this buy side liquidity trend line already. So yes, price is very bullish at the moment. The most recent high taken here with this X. So we've taken buy side liquidity, but we are quite bullish at the moment. So I would probably expect the previous weekly high to go. If not, we may see some divergence from the previous weekly low being taken on DXY. So we will see how that goes. So yesterday, this close out here, I did believe once we closed like this, I thought, okay, maybe we will go bearish. Wasn't really sure because of what price was doing. So didn't trade, had some indecisiveness on the trend, wanted to let it play out. So now it's played out bullish, I can adjust my bias the same way, right? Just things to bear in mind. We look to be continuing up to this week high, right? This is the leg here, this bullish leg. We pulled back to a discount and it looks like that discount has held and we are now reversing. So ultimately this would be a week high here. Same with DXY. We reversed at this 4 hour POY after filling this daily imbalance, and ultimately this will be the week low. So let's go down to 1 hour and see what that shows us. So a bit more of an explanation into yesterday. We did initially sweep Asia, came up very bullish into this 1 hour order block, previous order block here, where it had the equal highs or relative equal highs at this point as inducement. Once we hit that 1 hour order block, we did come down very bearish. So this is why I did not trade any longs after this new sort of bullish momentum was taken, because we came down very bearish and we had mitigated quite a lot of buy side above here, 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 and into this order block. So it was a bit of a riskier trade for me. And ultimately it came down and swept all those lows to then give it that sell side liquidity needed to continue in that bullish direction. So now we are creating new higher highs on the 1 hour. So again, yes, it gives us that indication of bullish structure. We still have a couple more highs to be mitigated, but this previous weekly high is the next one where I would expect possibly some pullback from if we don't get the pullback from this high here that's been mitigated, right? Next buy side liquidity target, and then the buy side liquidity target after that, which is ultimately that week high on the 4 hour. We may be due some sort of pullback. We see possibly happening at the moment. We have our POYs. I'll just mark out this first 1 hour POY. as an area that may provide support for a future long maybe. We'll see how that goes. The legs are a bit harder to read, so possibly this leg here, because this is the low that swept sell side liquidity in. We ultimately went up and made a new high on the hourly. So we'll see what price does. There's obviously another imbalance below here. The main concern is just to follow liquidity, right? We've taken buy side liquidity. You can look for opportunities for a pullback short, or we can wait for a POI to continue with our current new internal trend to go long. So a bit of a mixed bag to me when it comes to the bias. Of course, we have the bias of the structure to go long, but also we've taken so much buy side liquidity that yes, there probably will be opportunities to go short. There may be one at this moment, right? So we'll see, but we will have some support in the way there. So for me, that's my bias, just looking both ways for opportunities. I'll be going where the liquidity and lower time frame structure indicates. Okay, so other than that, on the hourly, all I would say is that we seem to be pulling back fairly corrective at the moment from these highs here. So we'll see that we may find some support somewhere, and then we can target these corrective highs. It's no different down here on DXY, except we are a bit closer to that previous weekly low. I expect to see many divergences on the way here when we're taking out these highs between DXY and EU, so we'll keep an eye out on that as well. So let's go down to the 15-minute and see what opportunities may be available today. So two scenarios this morning that I'll probably have a look for. One being long, one being short. As I said, a bit of a mixed picture at the moment for me. Though my preference is probably finding a short with how I see current price action. So I'll discuss the long quickly. So as I said, we had this 1 hour POI below, which is at the midline of Asia. Now price is correctively making its way down to this midpoint here. If we come down to this 1 hour POI, and what I'll be looking for, and possibly that'll be on the 5-minute, if we create some short-term high here, come down into this 1 hour POI, and then break of structure, pull back down to our lower time frame POI to go long, targeting those highs in that order flow direction that we've been in. I'll wait for this 1 hour POI to hold. Then we get our break of structure around this point here. Possible inducement from the pullback around here. Lower time frame order block with imbalance, and set my order to trade towards the highs. Stop loss just below the lows. So that's the possible long that I see. Now, the reason why I wouldn't just execute off of here is because obviously I don't see any sort of 15-minute order block or area that I should be executing from really. We've got inducement being created here, but the discount's way down here for me. I think I'd wait for a structure to show itself, break above some sort of internal high that it's creating, which most likely may be on the M5. Otherwise the high's up here. The danger is if price was to break structure and take that Asia high, it may continue down to go lower. So if the high could be done before then that would be great, and we could go long for Asia high, previous weekly high in that direction. The negatives for me will be obviously we are in pretty much a premium. We've taken a lot of buy side liquidity on the higher time frame, but we do have POI here support, and we'll be waiting for a breaker structure to continue this order flow, continue towards that weak structural high. So I hope that was clear. So let's move on to the short scenario. So now, using the negatives of that previous example, price has left these relative sort of equal highs here. You can see where we're kind of chopping around, we're creating structures here. I wouldn't mind seeing price do this, or even if it comes to the previous weekly high, we'll discuss that after. So price come above, take that buy side liquidity here, break down, right, break of structure, and then we can pull back to a lower time frame order block POI to continue down towards possible discount after taking so much buy side liquidity and being in a premium. So buy side liquidity sweep, break of structure around here, possible inducement during the pullback around here, lower time frame order block imbalance to trade short from this area. Stop loss just above the highs, just trading down towards the other side of Asia. Asia cycle on our side, premium on our side, high time frame buy side liquidity has been taken, quite a lot of internal liquidity sweep up here. Obviously the negative would be this 1 hour imbalance. We have another 1 hour imbalance below to actually work as a draw on price as well, which is good. So I do see this, I would prefer, and as I said, this could happen most definitely higher up in price, right? Could be the case where it happens up here, price spikes, breaks some sort of structure around here and pulls back down, right? So either this buy side liquidity or this buy side liquidity. This one's obviously more major. That's what I would like to see, preferably, just because of where we are in price. The negatives would be, of course, if we mitigate this, and if we mitigate this and pull back and haven't taken that previous weekly high, that could be the target, right? So there are some negatives there, but there's negatives both ways. So we can be patient, wait for order flow, and possibly get a continuation on that. But this is what I'd prefer at this moment, because we've left these highs here especially, and we are in this premium again with this high time frame buy side liquidity mitigated and all of that lovely stuff. But it would be against that current order flow. That's the opportunities. I hope that was clear. I hope you gained value from that. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.